Hello friends, today we will make this hut and a landscape. I start by making boundary of where I want my hut to be. Within that boundary or a square, I start defining the outline of the hut, carefully looking at what the structure looks like. Like I always say that you have to do this in a very light hand so that you can erase it or draw over it again. I used the pencil to see the directions of the lines to be made, and I'm slowly and steadily going ahead and making the lines. The top of the hut was a little short for me, so I erased it and extended it, and that is what I say, that never feel scared about making mistakes, because you can always do over. Now looking at the original reference picture, I am slowly defining the outlines step by step. At this stage, you do not have to worry about the drawing being pretty. Right now what you have to worry about is the proportions and perspective. So proportion means the size of each thing in relation to the other. So the barricade cannot be too huge as compared to the hut, or too small. And perspective is the direction in which the lines are going, and you have to very carefully look at the reference picture and do that. Now what I'm doing is I'm shading the darker areas and giving some texture on the roof of the hut and smudging it with a paintbrush or a makeup brush. Right now what I'm doing is defining the main or key features of the hut, which is the window, and giving some lines to give the woody effect and smudging it. So now don't worry about smudging and darkening the white area of the paper, because there are multiple colors and shades that you need to see. What I'm doing is giving lines within to give, and these are uneven lines. It is not a very straight line, uneven lines and a little bit of a zigzag in it, so that it does not look flat and there is a texture in the wood. Coloring the darker area and smudging it, I tend to cover the darker areas at times first, so that in relation to that I draw the rest of the things. Now the brick texture on the wall needs to come out, so I am leaving some marks of the wood and smudging it, and I will go over it again and giving the areas of where the greenery or some trees or bushes should come in the drawing. I had forgotten to leave the white mark of the pillar in the hut, so I erased that, and coming back to the wooden area, giving some more markings of the texture and smudging it. Defining the window very carefully, and then we will work inside the window. You need to give multiple textures even inside the window, because the window pane, it could be open, it could be shut, the shadows or the lights on the window will not come evenly. So you've got to be giving various kind of shading within. Defining the outlines of each of the elements in the hut, and then giving the shades inside and outside around it. And this is not the end of it. Like in every drawing, I say that we have to come again and again to work on it to give it a better look. So now within the wooden area, I just gave some more lines and working on the front of the hut with the similar brick area and windows. Now you've got to understand that the front area where I'm right now working on the hut, that is a little lighter area because light is falling there. So the shades on that wall will be lighter as compared to the wall on the side. And that is the light and shadow depth you've got to work on. Giving some lines on the main gate, and again you must have seen that I've not given very even lines. Just very roughly giving some shades on the mountain or the hill behind, and you don't have to worry about giving perfect lines, because your eyes will capture what needs to capture. All I'm doing is I'm giving the direction of where the hill is coming from and going up. Smudging it, it will give the texture of multiple grass or some greenery, etc. on it. Defining the tree or the bushes around the hut a little better. And again, don't end up making every leaf etc. Just scribble something there and smudge and scribble over, and it will give you the texture of a tree or a bush. In today's picture, these bushes are not the hero or the main character, the hut is. So we will not be giving too much of focus in drawing the bushes. But if we were making a tree as a main character, then we would have been given a lot of time to it. For the larger areas, I smudge with paper, and that's very easy and quick. And back to the hut and the other areas around the hut, making the barricade. So what I'm doing is I'm giving the darker areas, like I always do, a little deeper lines, but not even lines, because nothing in nature is even. It's everything has multiple shades and shadows. Looking at the reference picture, I'm giving the darker areas the effect that I want, and basis that I will make the rest of the picture or shades. Leave some lines in between and don't make it very even, so that it shows that there are multiple things under the ramp that we are making. Making the pillars kind of a thing for the barricade, and again, don't give even lines. I'm shading it in the corner so that it gives multiple effects from where the light is coming from. So you would have seen that I've chosen right side to be shaded and left side I've left open or unshaded, giving the darker areas a little more darkness so that multiple shades and effects and depths start coming out. Now the land around the hut is easy. You just need to slant your pencil and start giving shades, and it's okay and better if it's uneven shades, and we'll very quickly smudge it with the paper later, and that will give you the effect of greenery or land around the hut. The darker areas I will advise for you to do as dark as you can, because that is where the effect will come from. So you see the land around the hut we've done so quickly with the slanted pencil. Darkening the gate, because that had become lighter as compared to the hut right now. And now making those wooden poles around the house. Please don't give a straight line, give a little twisted or uneven lines, because that is how the natural wood or the barricade would be. Further giving the landscape some shades and smudging it with the paper. Now about the forest behind the hut. Like I said, the forest is also not the hero, so we don't have to define it very well. Our hero or our main character today is the hut. So what we will do is we will shade the greenery or the forest rapidly, and then start giving some dark and light effect to show where dense trees are and where the light is falling, etc. You don't have to worry about it looking like a tree perfectly, because when you look at it in totality, it will give you an effect that yes, there is a lot of greenery and forest kind of a thing behind. It's all about dark and shadow and where the light is coming from. As long as you work on that, your greenery or your forest feel will come out. I'm going and doing this over multiple layers, because once or twice is not enough. It's supposed to be a very dense forest, so I have to go out time and again to give darker shades in patches in places. And once again smudging it all. So now I'm giving some lines and textures around where the hill is coming down from, and that's a path of probably people walking up or the greenery coming down. I need a very sharp pencil at this time for the next thing that I'll be doing. Now I have to give very fine lines and dark and deep lines within the texture of the wood that I have made. And again, please lift your hand and do this. Don't make a very straight line from top to bottom. Leave some marks in some places and leave it unmarked in some places, and that's what's going to give you an effect. Never make a straight line from left to right or top to bottom. So sharpening the pencil helps to make it very dark, and also it gives me the precision that I want for a work like this. So I'm going back to every area where I needed dark and very defined lines and spots, and that's what I'm doing all over the hut. As you see, I'm not leaving a very straight line and leaving some darkness at places and leaving it untouched in the others. Making the chimney and the shadow and smudging it with the finger. Just leaving some lines in between the barricade because that was a little lighter area, giving some final touch on where I need the darkness. Now I'll look at the thing in totality to see where I need more darkness and where I need more pencil work. Once the artwork is almost complete, now you have to start seeing it in totality where you need touch-ups. After the last bit of smudging, I'm using some eraser to give highlights at places. And with that, the artwork is complete. Time to sign, and this is our final work. Hope you liked the tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for weekly videos.